Hello, everyone. Marco Maigua is my name. Thanks so much for the opportunity. And in this video, I'm gonna show you what was my approach to kind of the setup of the platform that I was sent as a challenge. And yeah, first of all, I'm gonna show you what the platform is doing, what I added, and what was my approach to the server side, the little file that is interacting with the blockchain, and then I'll explain the the implementation procedure that I used to make it happen, and finally I'm gonna present the challenges that I faced with this challenge. So I'm gonna start from scratch so you guys can see how the project is running. So this is the platform after fixing some bugs, and I'm gonna explain at the end what the bugs I found that didn't let me start this from scratch. But yeah, like I can see that it has some features, some pages. Yeah, so in general, like at least it's loading, and actually I can connect with the wallet. So I'm gonna run the dev tool so you guys can see what I added as as my approach to show you the expertise I have so far in order to like interact with the blockchain. So let's start by connecting the MetaMask wallet, the one that I have currently. So I am able to interact with the wallet. Okay, so now I am connected. If you are able if you know how to run this project, you will realize that it didn't have these two buttons. I added them as a custom approach because okay, so my plan here is to show you how I was able to make the front end run and also send some information taken from the account, from the MetaMask account, and sent it to a custom server file that I created, and I'm gonna show you later. So that will do the say that this first button it would do something very simple, which is taking the account of the MetaMask, which is um, this account, this one, and it's gonna send it over to a port where the server is running, and it's just gonna log that address, and also not only that, but it's also gonna do an API request, a GET request to Ether scan API in order to see what's the balance for that specific account, meaning my account MetaMask would give me through Ether scan would give me the balance, which is for now is 0. Okay, so that's going to be this button, and we will see. I have a response. How I can know that this is doing what I supposed to do, because here in the logs is showing me what that route is doing. Afterwards, I'm gonna explain you exactly what the code is doing, but right now just to let you know that this is a server response. Okay, so this is pretty much the balance of the account, which is 0. If I had something different, it will display something different. um, so something else, so that's about this button. So it's something very simple, but the implementation will show you that is more than just sending some data. Okay, so moving on, the next button that I added here, by the way, sorry for the styles, I didn't have enough time to make it kind of fight with the classes that this Chakra UI React library is doing, because it has a lot of CSS classes on top of it, and I didn't want to spend too much time on it. That's why I just left it there and focused on the logic. So this other button is going to do something a little bit more complex. So it's going to send the wallet, but this wallet in the server is just gonna trigger something. It's gonna trigger in a route, in a specific route. It's gonna trigger the send or the payment or the transfer of some ether, fake ether, to another recipient, another wallet that I just added. It was another MetaMask wallet, pretty much. So what it's going to do is pull out the ABI of the IRC20 token and use the transfer method in order to execute a transaction that afterwards we can see it in the Etherscan for Sepolia testnet from Ethereum. This is important because all these transactions were done in Sepolia testnet. Unfortunately I don't have Ether at the moment to test it in a real case scenario, but I hope hopefully this is enough to show you that I am capable of doing this. So this in the background is just gonna execute a transaction here. Is executing the transaction. Afterwards, I'm gonna show you the code. And this is going to give me the confirmation of the transaction and the receipt, meaning the address of the transaction with which I can go to Etherscan and check if this transaction exists. As you see here in Etherscan, this transaction actually exists. It happened, and this is Sepolia. If you can see here is a Sepolia testnet, and this is the confirmation that the transaction was executed. And if we go to the address of the ERC20 token of USDT token is the one that I used as the smart contract that I wanted to interact with, meaning that the ABI I used was from an IRC20 token, like the base, but the actual address of the contract was the USDT. So where did I find that? Actually, let me show you. Here is where I sent. I got the address of the contract for USDT, and here we should see that we have those transactions happening. So as you see, this was just 1 minute ago. The transaction that I just did, I can confirm that this is my address. If you see, it ends in 79C2E, and here my MetaMask address is same thing. It ends in 79C2E. And it is sent to another MetaMask that I created in another browser. So all these transactions were tests to know that this is working, right? So this is a very basic transaction, but at the end of the day, I was able to interact with the blockchain. As you guys know, MetaMask doesn't give you the chance to envelop or show you the private key. Therefore, for this specific example, it was purely triggering, and I had to hard code the private key in a EMB file in order to execute the transaction. Otherwise, MetaMask wouldn't let me, get that information from MetaMask. Pretty much just was a simulation in order to trigger what the server had as hard coded already for the transaction. I'm gonna move on to the implementation side. So what did I do? In the code, I had I added these two buttons, these two, and they are just gonna appear if the account, meaning the MetaMask, is connected. So yeah, that's a very simple, very straightforward, and those have some handlers. Afterwards, I want to show you again the routes in the server, but they are targeting to a local server and a specific route. So this is for the first button, meaning that it's just gonna show you the balance of your Ethereum account. And this wallet address is coming from. It's pretty much coming from the MetaMask state. And in the other side, in the route that triggers the execution of the transaction for transferring a little bit of ether, I'm calling to the router, but I am not sending any information. I'm sending this address, but really is not using it. You will see later in the code of the server. So something important is before all of this is that I needed to also change some of the configurations here in the package JSON in order to run it properly. First of all, like this is going to just run the front end, but also run a custom entry point for the server, which is this file that, as in the requirement was saying, that should have my name on it. So I think it is around here in the server side. And yes, so this is the original server. I didn't touch that. So I created this little server that is very simple. It just has the two routes for the two buttons. This is the first one. Sorry, where is it? Send tokens and here. This is the route that is just going to show you the balance, and this is the route that is going to run the execution through this method for sending and signing the transaction for so we can see it in Etherscan. Okay, so what else it was important? Something very important that was a little bit challenging is that I didn't know the README didn't give any instructions about the versions, so I needed to kind of like not guess, but try to figure out what the Node.js version, the proper Node.js version should be. And yeah, based on some cues, some clues on the package log JSON, I realized that these dependencies would work with Node.js 18. So moving on to the server, as I was explaining you here, for the first button that is just going to show you the balance here, I am using actually the wallet, and I am doing this kind of API call, which is a simple Axios get request, and I am forming my URL with the params as this. This is very straightforward. You just need the Etherscan API key, which is in one of my EMB variables, and other than that, is very straightforward. Then you will see, and that's what you see here in this route. You see wallet address, and this is the response. Oh, sorry, the balance account. This is the final result of this entire method. Okay, and moving on. So this is very straightforward, and then the other route is going to, as I said, I am not really using the wallet address. So this is just a checkup, but at the end, I'm just triggering a function that will interact with the blockchain, but not based on the params that are coming from the front end, but rather something that I just hard coded. So this is the function, the main function, and I guess the one that is more important for a backend side, since we need to interact with the blockchain straightforward. So as you see here, I chose Sepolia and the configuration of Infura in order to make it happen. So I am sending the private key, which is an EMB file. What I did for getting that is exporting from the MetaMask the private key, which is unsecure, but for these purposes it wasn't a big of a deal. That MetaMask I just created it just for this test. And then I have the token address that I sent you for the USD Ether, which is around here where I sent, which is here. The address of the token, and then moving on, we needed the recipient address, meaning the other MetaMask account that I created just for these tests. Then we just use the normal Ether as methods in order to get the contract representation, the interface by the ERC 20 AVI that is in a JSON file. By the way, the JSON file was here. Luckily, this ERC JSON was already part of the of the project, so I didn't need to either create it or import it or something. I just used it. Mm, so yeah, and then moving on. Yeah, now, once that I have the contract, instantiated by the AVI, I can just use the method and then waiting for the transaction to be completed. And as you see here, once that the transaction is done, I just get the receipt that is pretty much the address of the transaction, right? The one that I showed you before in Etherscan, which is here. Well, this is the address of the contract, and here is the receipt of the transaction. Okay. Okay, so that's about the implementation of the overall project. So now what I want to share as well as the final part of this presentation is the challenges that I faced. So in order to make this project run at the beginning, it was a complete mess. So I found a lot of bugs in the front end. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I needed to fix. I created, by the way, a copy of this project in a branch where I would do the changes. I'm gonna add this as a public repository. I'm gonna send this link with Jeff, so you guys can see the changes. Uh, for example, here, analyzing some of the changes that I did, well, some of the credentials. Yeah, I needed to add some configurations in order to ignore some wordings because there were a lot that they didn't let me see through my specific logs properly. I changed that, as I said, the entry point for the server. Some of the dependencies that I needed, but they weren't really tough to guess. The server that is there, and you can see what changed. And here were some logs, and these were very important. They were bugging me a lot in the front end. Seems like they forgot to change the uppercase format for some of the props of those components for HTML objects. Sorry, and most of them were though just pretty much changing from lowercase to camel case. And what else? But at the end, this was a little bit tough to decide what to do about this. They were complaining a lot about the object for the big integer in several places of the front end, I think. And my approach was just pretty much using like not the third party JavaScript big integer, but the one that comes with the JavaScript. And they worked. I mean, of course, maybe I introduced some other bug, but I just wanted the application to run. If I didn't change this, it was still bugging me and it wasn't able to compile. So I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe something last thing I want to share is that since I didn't have Ether for testing it, not even like Sepolia Ether, so I needed to find a way to fund myself with some fake Sepolia Ether. So I found this blog where they explain that if you sign to Gitcoin Passport and if you share your social networks, you will be able to gain some score, and with this score you will go to this place, this faucet service where you can mine some fake Sepolia Ethereum, and I did. So I was able to fund a little bit of that Ethereum and use that in my MetaMask. You can see here, I'll have, if I connect to the Sepolia network, you'll see that I have exactly what I mined in order to interact with the blockchain in the server side. So yeah, that was my approach was very it wasn't super challenging, but it had some bugs that I needed to fix. But overall I liked this little challenge. Anyway, I think that was it for this presentation. I really appreciate the time for listening to this approach I did, and I really hope that I can be your guy. I can be open to more technical interviews if you want, but that's all I did based on some experience with some clients, some experience in my masters, and some experience in other works. So yeah, thanks too much for listening.